Why is it that we don't always take responsibility for our actions? I was cleaning out the other night and I came across these snow chains, and it made me think of a time we took the youth group up to the snow. We were up at about 7,200 feet, and there's a young gal that we think dislocated her shoulder. We weren't sure. My wife and I threw her in the car and we headed down the hill. We were on the Great Divide, and it's a road that is not plowed. And so at this time it was snowed, iced over. We were following a truck, and he was going about 35. And I thought, this seems to be a little fast. But I knew that if I backed off the throttle, that it would throw the car into a spin. And as I was contemplating this, I guess fear overtook, and I began to kind of back off the throttle without really thinking about it. And that's exactly what happened. The vehicle began to spin. Now, if that wasn't really bad enough, there was a cliff off to the left-hand side. Fortunately, there was a snowbank onto the right. Later on, when I was talking to my wife, we were both praying that the Lord would throw us into the snowbank. That's exactly what happened. The car must have spun probably 10 times. It's so strange. It's exactly like you see in the movie. Your attentiveness begins to heighten, and so everything seems to slow down. And we were able to drive out of that snowbank and make it down to the hospital. The young gal was fine, went back up and finished the snow trip. But later on, as I began to think about that, is the problem was, it wasn't that I didn't have the information. It's just that fear overcame me, and I wasn't able to take what I knew was right and apply it. Well, in our devotional today, we see that Abraham did the exact same thing. God told him to go up to Canaan. He went up into that area. There was a famine, and so he takes his family down to Egypt. He's afraid that they're going to kill him, so he tells his wife, don't tell him you're my wife, tell him you're my sister. And so Pharaoh takes her as one of his wives, finds out the truth because God plagues him, and he is so upset at Abraham because Abraham lied to him. So Abraham was learning how to trust God. We see this same kind of sin in the garden when Adam, after he had sinned, and God confronted him, he says to God, the woman that you gave me. And so he blames the woman and God for his actions. Well, here we see that Abraham lied about the whole situation. He didn't want to take responsibility. Adam didn't want to take responsibility. Oftentimes, we don't want to take responsibility. We live in a world today that seems to promote victimhood. We don't take responsibility for things. And I want to tell you that when you take responsibility, not only do you really experience your freedom, but you also experience growth. And so why do we not see that people are really maturing and growing like they should today? Not taking responsibility. I think the best thing that we can do is take responsibility for what we did, learn from it, and don't let that happen again. So I want to encourage you today to learn from these devotionals, not just here, but actually be able to exercise your faith and put it into practice into your life. May God richly bless you. Thank you so much. Let's pray for rain, that we might have a little bit of snow and we can use our chains. God bless you.